Hey, everybody, we are going to talk about Bitcoin today, specifically how well it's done. It recently hit an all time high at about $125,000 a coin. When I first started following Bitcoin, it was about $12 a coin. So this is it's been quite a ride to watch. Now, obviously, we can't turn back time, but it can be fun to take a look at how well something's done over time and why, so we can understand it as investors. So with that, we're going to look at some of Bitcoin's historical returns. Before we dive in, please take a minute and check out the link you see on your screen, fool.com/Frankel. Get the top 10 stocks to buy from the Motley Fool right now. It is the best way to support this work I'm doing on YouTube. Again, fool.com/Frankel. So let's get right to it. I want to share three charts. So the first one is Bitcoin over the past 3 years. And all of these are based on the growth of $1,000. So if you put $1,000 into Bitcoin 3 years ago, which would be in October of 2022, it would be worth about $6,245 right now. That's a pretty solid return in just 3 years, even with the S&P 500 doing really well. This completely just destroyed the S&P. And the reason, so that's a 525% return. You start off with 100% of your money at about 500%. That's what brings us to the $6,000. Over the past 3 years, there have been a couple of main catalysts. The first one is that in the 2023 banking turmoil, remember when a few high-profile bank failures happened, Bitcoin was largely seen as a flight to safety by investors. There's a finite amount. It exists kind of outside the regular banking system. It didn't matter if a bank failed, you still owned your Bitcoin. So that helped. And the Trump administration, as soon as it looked like they were going to be in power, it was a positive catalyst for Bitcoin because it's a much more cryptocurrency friendly one than its predecessor, and especially in terms of looser regulations. For example, it was recently announced that banks can serve as crypto custodians again. So companies like SoFi are bringing crypto back onto their platform, which hadn't been a thing for a while. So that's definitely helping recently. Now, if we rewind back just a little bit, so here's a 5-year chart. So that means you would have bought Bitcoin in October of 2020. And in that case, you would be sitting on just shy of $11,000 today if you bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. And look, that includes a pretty big drop here. So it recovered very, very nicely. This is what I was talking about in 2023, when people kind of, this is when all the bank crises happened. Like that was like right here at this trough right here. So that was kind of a flight to safety that lifted it up. But so in addition to those 3-year catalysts, if you bought 5 years ago, you would have been the beneficiary of the pandemic era speculation and really the rise of easy ways to buy crypto like Robinhood and things like that. And that was right here at the beginning of the 5-year chart. You can see the initial big spike right here. Bitcoin soared in the beginning of COVID. Not only was there like stimulus flowing into the economy and things like that, but it was a whole lot easier to buy Bitcoin compared to in past years. And finally, if you zoom out to 10 years ago, which means you would have bought Bitcoin in October of 2015, you would have almost $500,000 right now if you bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. So again, the 5-year chart started about right here where my mouse is. So if you just like look here and you can see the big spike happened in late 2017. That's when mainstream investors really started paying attention to Bitcoin. So that will be a 49,600% return in just 10 years. The period from 2015 to 2020, and especially that time in 2017, was when Bitcoin really gained mainstream popularity. That was the first big pop because Bitcoin got mainstream acceptance. The price actually kind of stagnated from 2018 to 2020. You can see right here from 2018 to 2020, you can pretty much draw a straight line across that. The big pop was in 2017. That was really the year when Bitcoin gained a whole lot of acceptance. So yeah, let me stop sharing this. Hopefully you found that little trip down memory lane fun and enjoyable. Let me know if you think I missed any of the big driving reasons. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I'll do my best to respond to any of them individually. And thanks for watching. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from their popular product, Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by more than 5 times. Go to fool.com/Frankel to get your 10 stock picks now. The Motley Fool Stock Advisor returns are 914% as of January 7th, 2025, and are measured against the S&P 500 returns of 174% as of January 7th, 2025.